Woo, go Paul. Hey, everybody, this is Tim Shorts of Carthage Manor here with Paul, Flint Fireforge, and Joe, the lawyer, who
Oh,
needs
hello.
no introduction.
Paul was just
And
dancing. You missed it,
he
guys. You
was
should
just
tell us.
dancing. Yes.
That's
Yep.
only for members only. Members only.
And unfortunately, I was going to
Paul.
say,
I can throw a $5 bill your way.
Put it in the membership. Put it in the membership.
So our topic of the day is based off of a blog post that was written back. Let me see. I want to make sure I get this credited correctly. Was written back in 2000. So June 15th, 2013. For some reason, I remember it earlier than that, but it was on the blog called Hack and Slash. Courtney Campbell was the writer of it, and it was called The Corpse of the Quantum Ogre. A quantum ogre is one of those irreverent topics. And if you don't know what a quantum ogre is, it's in the simplest terms is, say you have an ogre and you know it's in the room in front of you, and then the party decides to turn right, and there's a room there, and they decide to go in that right room. But you want him to encounter that ogre. So you decide, I'm taking that ogre, and now he's in that room, and the party still encounters them. Is that good? Is that bad? Discuss. Go. Let's lead with Paul. What do you think, Paul?
If you have to put the ogre there to make your adventure work, then that's a railroad. If you have to move the ogre around, if they have to encounter if they just have to make the story, as we said in our previous video, to make the story work, then you're railroading your players.
Is there any chance, any time that is a good thing to do the quantum ogre thing? If it's not for a fight, people always think old school is all about the fighting. Sometimes the ogre is there to dispense information. Sometimes the ogre is there just because his presence there means something, right?
And it doesn't have to be just an ogre. It could be an object. It could be anything.
Anything. The point is, it's a thing that you cannot avoid no matter what you do. Whether it's a monster, person, place, or thing, a monster, whatever the case may be, right? And so, Paul, is there any reason a good DM could have a quantum ogre type of thing in his game? Or does that mean he's a shitty DM and he's railroading?
No, I think if there's something, like if you're talking about, if it has to move, let me say this. I'll give you a quote from the great Howard Hawks, who Howard Hawks, who directed Western movies, a lot of
he's a big director.
John Wayne movies, did Rio Bravo. He says there are 6 scenes that really matter in a movie. Everything is just the means to get to those scenes.
Okay.
So if your quantum ogre is only there, if your ogre is only there to get you to the next scene, if you can't go to the next scene until you've seen the ogre. Once again, can there be clues? Like example, if the ogre's not there, if your group goes another way, instead of maybe moving the ogre there, maybe there's a clue, or maybe the ogre has been there. Maybe there's a destroyed village. Maybe there's something else.
There's an exception. There's an exception to that, though. What if the ogre isn't the means to get to the next scene or the next thing, but for another reason, the ogre needs to be there for another reason? It's not mandatory to get to the next scene, but the DM wants them there to, let's say, impart information or whatever. That it's the information or the other thing you're getting from the ogre is not imperative to get somewhere, but it's dropping information or hooks or connections or contacts or something about the world, right? What about that?
Well, the question is then is the main thing that people have an argument with quantum ogre is it takes away player choice.
Agency. Yeah.
Right, player agency. That if you have to, once again, I think the clues can give you the information you need. The ogre doesn't have to be there, but there can be something if you've already, put it there. But I don't know if you need the ogre to be there. You can want once again, if you put the ogre there, that's fine. And by the way, there are some adventures that are just a railroad. You're doing a one shot and you're going from point A to point B. And it doesn't work unless the ogre's there somehow. So,
So-
is it always wrong to put an ogre there? No. Are you having is it a sandbox and whatever it is? You got to determine those things from the beginning.
It's generally a shitty DM move, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying it's if you have to complete the story by running into the ogre, then you're running a different kind of game. You're running depending on the game you want to run.
Yeah. All right. So Tim, Paul just said that you run a railroad because you gave me a fucking quantum ogre the other day. Defend your ass, you railroading shitty DM motherfucker. Defend your ass.
Absolutely.
All right, we go.
Quantum
this.
Ogre. Yeah. So Quantum Ogre is another tool in your toolbox. It's one of those ones you don't want to use a lot, but you don't want to not have it either. There's certain situations where it will definitely be a help, but there's another aspect of the Quantum Ogre that I would just say that's absolutely is a shitty GM move. And that's when you have an encounter. Say, all right, so I have the Quantum Ogre and you want to dispense advice for him. But instead of dispensing advice, they cast a fireball. But then as a GM, I said, well, it doesn't work.
Oh, yes. Because
so you're basically forcing. So not only have you forced the encounter, but now you're forcing the encounter to go the way you want.
Yeah.
And that's a shitty GM move to make to scooch the ogre over a room to maybe kind of move it along. I don't have any problem with that because, like Paul was saying, that it's I guess relieves a player of their agency, but a lot of times they don't even fucking know either way.
Mm-hmm.
So they still made the choice. They don't know any difference anyway, because let's face it, in campaigns, we all have choices. And we can't have unlimited choices. We have to kind of, as GMs, the way we don't railroad is we offer them 3 tracks. A lot of times it's like, there's still going to be some kind of path or whatever going there, but at least you kind of give them a choice so that they can go. Because when you open it up, especially when I'm running a freaking city campaign, oh my God, the amount of, I mean, you've got to manage the chaos by kind of giving clear some obvious paths that maybe they want to go through. So in that case, like if you're walking down like in your case, Joe, you encountered those.
Use the example. Why did you want me to encounter him? What was the deal? Like, what was your thought? Without divulging stuff about the campaign I can't know yet.
Right, exactly. In the last episode, I think it'll be, even though it was 5 minutes ago, it'll be a week for last week's episode.
2 weeks.
I gave an example where Joe was escaping the city, and I had set up all kind of some events that could possibly happen. I was going to just kind of see the percentage of what they were going to do, how they went, because I wanted Joe to be able to escape the city how he wanted, and I had different variables that could possibly happen depending on his actions. Well, then he took an action I didn't expect, and I ran with that. It went really well, but there was an encounter outside the city that was going to happen. I had that set up already, because if he escaped the city one way, but he got this other way. So I'm like, okay, I'm just moving the encounter over here.
Yeah.
And the reason why I did that is, one, I wanted Joe's character, the party itself, to encounter these people. They're actually based off of Paul's old character of the Doom Singers and everything. Really, really fun thing. So I made this whole culture of Doom Singers based off of Paul's character, and they got to encounter. And because I had that encounter, I got to develop that culture a little bit more just from the half-hour encounter that we had.
Because of the challenge I threw out, and
because of all the challenges and all that stuff, and it got me to think, because that's how I like to develop my campaign. I know, you like to have everything set out, but I like having them come in and then having the players interact with it, and I create better when I'm interacting with the players and doing it on the spot and everything. And that's what I wanted to do. There's another reason why that Joe doesn't know about, or that hasn't become apparent yet.
I figured there was something. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some, because even though it was a quantum thing, there was a purpose in it for the campaign. And the other thing is like the quantum stuff doesn't have to be an important aspect. It doesn't have to be like, this is the MacGuffin that you're seeking. Oh shit, you went into that room. I'm going to move it in this room. I'm tired. I want to call it a night. Let's just move the thing over here. But it can just be something just small. Like was it important that happened? No, not really. Did it make any difference in the adventure? No, but it was a flavor. It was a piece of flavor within a campaign that I think helps build layers in your campaign.
Yep.
But did I have to do it? No, but I kind of wanted to do it because I wanted to have that experience of running it, because guess what? I'm in the DMs are in it to game too. They want to have fun. They want to have to explore things. They want to do stuff for the stuff. It's not all for the players, despite what players think. No, it's all about not all about you guys.
No, I like, for me first and foremost. There's one time in place where it's absolutely imperative, I think, that you do have a quantum ogre, and this is you're running a game at a convention, or it's a one shot for a group. Paul does, right? And you're coming up on that, it's 1 o'clock and we got to wrap this, and they're 8 rooms away from the final boss, and they're not going to fucking get there, and then they're going to feel gypped. Can I say that? I don't know. They're going to feel ripped off, right? And so they're like, oh, I moved the final boss to the next door. That's it.
Right.
See, I didn't do that. I ran for Tim and those guys. I was running Lord Mattias's game of the White Wizard.
Yeah.
We just ran out of time.
I did
not. I did because I said, well, I said I'd rather continue it. If it's if we can go ahead, let's continue it and go from there. I could have done that, but then I know what's there. I know what they're doing. I'm going, well, that's going to take too long, no matter what I do. No matter what I do, that's going to be an in-depth. It's going to be 4 more hours. And I think too. I think Quantum Ogre is in the bad way. If you use it in the bad way, it's a manipulatory tool where DMs are trying to either guide them into their story to say you're creating this, to be able to do this. But and I think that's the bad part of it. If you're trying to just manipulate things so that players will run your story, then I think that's a poor use. To Tim's point, that if you're going to use it in a way that's going to be advantageous to the entire party or something like that, but not to do it in that way. The question is this. Now, you just shared, Tim, that that with Joe, that you told him that there was a quantum ogre. The question is, do you tell players you pulled a quantum ogre?
No.
After you
No, I just told those guys that time because because I like to do. I always like to have that, like we always do. I like to have that little discussion afterwards, and and talk about the meta stuff of the game, and I kind of reveal some of the stuff I did, and because I like the feedback. That's how I learn. That's how I do it, because sometimes I didn't want it to feel like it was forced, but it felt like the way I introduced it, I thought it was pretty natural, and it felt like, well, it fit into what was happening with them at the time that they would encounter them.
In general, though, would you share? In general, though, would you say DMs in a one shot? It's neither here nor there. You want to get the game over. But if you're doing a campaign,
no.
Would you tell your players that you said, look, it really doesn't matter which way you went. I was going to put it there anyway.
I would never play with them again. It's a betrayal of trust, because there's a trust that you have. That happened to me. A similar thing happened to me back when in the Flail Snails days. There was a great DM. His name was Gus, and he ran this haunted ship thing. Remember that, Tim? That guy Gus?
Yep. Gus
right?
L.
Gus L. Yeah, and he ran a great campaign. Used Lamentations.
Made great stuff. Yeah,
amazing. A great artist too. I mean, he's a fantastic dude. And he ran this ship, this adventure on the Apollyon. It's this ghost ship that's 2 miles long. It's floating in there, and there's all kinds of weird shit going on. And I had a fucking blast, right? And then I asked him one day, I guess it's one of my most fun campaigns I play. I look forward to playing in this game, And I asked him one day, I said, man, when you go in there, and you have this room and that room on the ship, I'm assuming he has a good chunk of the map, at least, the whole ship in general, broadly speaking, and the detailed region and an interplay of back and forth and what's going on. And you do this, it affects that. I'm assuming this because it ran it so well, it seemed like it. And he says, no, he makes it up as he goes from time to time, and nothing you do here really affects the next thing and vice versa. I'm like, I never played with them again because I felt totally betrayed. I had no agency. You know what I mean? I had no.
But I kind of do that too, Rob. Joe. I mean, I think in a way, like you, I almost keep my campaign.
Cause and effect. There was none in his. It seemed like
there's a lot of cause and effect. Yeah,
you absolutely have cause and effect, which is the key to a sandbox. His sandbox on the ship didn't necessarily have good cause and effect, and because of that, I felt that nothing I did mattered. No matter what I did.
But you said you just had a great time, though. You just said you had a great time.
But then he blew it by telling me
what the hell are you talking about, Joe? You just said you had a great time, and now you're all boo-hoo and bitching about it.
Because when he told me, then I realized I had no agency, and agency is all important to me with my characters. And so if you do the constant quantum ogre, you got no agency. Then
no, you can't do that.
You know what I mean? If nothing you did prior matters for the next game you play, then why then it's just one random encounter after another.
Wouldn't you have noticed that if they didn't matter?
No,
were you he was that
good. He was that good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's his forte. That's his strength. So that's not.
I wish he never told me. I would have kept playing. I would have enjoyed the shit out of it. But he told me, and it blew my sense of agency. You know.
Right.
But truth be told, I did the quantum ogre thing to my brother. I didn't tell him. I guess if he's watching this, he's going to find out now, right? I had a big dinner party, right? And here's why I did it. I had a big ass dinner party. His shithead characters have to go there with dukes and rich merchants and the prince and but all the biggity wigs, right? And so what I did was I developed out 3 dukes and their families and their goals and aims and ambitions. I got 7 merchants. Who's there? Goals, aims, ambitions. I brought up like 15 talking points, that topics of conversation in the little circles at the dinner party, right? And I had the talking points. And then I had 25 detailed NPCs, right? I got like 4 pages of NPCs here, right? And I made this up and I studied it like I'm studying for the fucking bar exam, right? Because I had to represent 30 people at this party, effectively.
That's a lot. Yeah.
25 NPCs and another 40 people, right? And I needed to have all the talking points, which would lead to the plot hooks. Okay.
Right.
I developed out 8 plot hooks. And during the course of it, there was a couple I did want to get out. Right. One of them was an option I wanted to give the players. Turns out a couple of them never got out there and I didn't care. But one I definitely wanted them to get the plot hook. And so I had designed like the general is going to be the one that talks about this thing. They never got to the general, but they talked to another guy, and I'm like, I want to get the plot hook. There's no time left. They're not moving to the general's circle of conversation. Right. So I had a different guy give it to him, the guard chief captain, who would also know about it, right? So he was the one who dumped the plot hook. In other words, the plot hook was the quantum ogre. They were going to get that plot hook somewhere, somehow. But not all plot hooks came out. So not all plot hooks were important enough to be a quantum ogre. But it wasn't a railroad because I'm giving them, now they have 6 options of what they want to do rather than 5. So I quantum railroaded them to a different plot hook, a different option. Is that
quantum quoted them? You quantum quoted them.
Quantum quoted them. Yeah. So is that quantum ogering? I don't know. Is it bad?
It's not. No, because if it's within reason to what's going on, like if that guy's going to know, well, then it doesn't matter in the sense of, if there's 3 people who have the same, if 3 people know where this place is and they're going to know where it is, well, then it doesn't, those 3 people, if you run into those 3 people, they're going to tell you wherever the thing is you're looking for.
But if they hadn't talked to the general or the city watch guy, somehow, some way, they were going to get that plot hook. I would have had some bullshit. You know what I mean? And make up a reason why the guy they're talking to right now might know about it, but they were going to get that fucking plot hook.
Well, that's just part of what I was talking about, where you need like almost like 3 paths. We all kind of direct in a multiple paths so that they don't feel railroad or anything. And you were just basically swinging the machete hard at this one trail for them to kind of follow, but they don't have to though.
Not follow, know about.
Or that's what I meant. Know that the path was there.
Yes,
and then they could decide which one they wanted to go. So they still had the possibility of that. So yeah, I mean, the one thing I know about your campaign Joe, is like, when I'm going into a party and I know there's a bunch of people there, I know not to say anything that means anything, and I got to know who they are and who they're friends with, and before I say a word.
Yeah, that's true. I even had that detailed. This Duke hates this merchant. The merchant is allied with this one against that one. There was deep web of lore going on.
Yes.
And if you say the wrong thing to the wrong guy without knowing who you just, gave an allegiance to without knowing it, or made an enemy of without knowing it, right? That's the thing. Yeah. Right. And so that, just like any high-end diplomatic party, what you do, what you just said you do. You know what I mean? Cordial, friendly, don't say too much, don't commit to anything, and don't
listen a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just listen and absorb it all in. Yeah.
Sip and say how wonderful. Yeah.
Now, the other thing about the quantum ogre thing, and just want to add on that, like Paul was saying about the one thing, if you use it too much or you use it in a manipulative kind of way, like just forcing the play, then it becomes an adversarial relationship. Now it's you against me. Now you're in this battle with the DM, because every time you try to, and I have had DMs do this, where it's like, I can't think of examples. I wish I could, but I just remember this one kid. Every time my character would try to do something, I remember my character was this, I don't know, big fighter guy, and he was going to attack somebody because he was getting mouthy with me. I reached for my sword. Oh, yeah, it got stolen by a thief. And I didn't notice somebody stole my two-handed sword or whatever it was. Yeah, that's what he fucking do all the time when I would, so his encounter, because he had a lot of precious NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
So if he made them up, because I think a lot of his NPCs were his characters, so you weren't allowed to beat his characters in anything or something like that.
Gotcha.
So, and unfortunately back then, you had such a limited amount of people who play D&D. You kind of got to, sometimes we're kind of forced to tolerate, that kind of play. Although I did walk out a couple of times. I'm like, I'm done with this shit. I'm not playing that. But yeah, it's that's what a quantum ogre or quantum whatever you do can turn into if it's not care. But it is a tool to really, that can, just give you an option that to help your players in some ways, and help yourself maybe get a campaign maybe back in line or that. And then we're talking about campaign, like we're not talking about one shots, because one shots, I mean, it's pretty much like a tournament, not module. You basically got because if you think about back in the day when we used to get the adventure modules and everything, there were tournament modules, so there wasn't a lot of latitude in what was going to happen. It was static until you interacted with it, and then it was going to happen. Where today we've definitely, the flavor of the OSR is having an organic, free-flowing sandbox and allow the players to decide their paths and their fates. But as a GM, it's your job to kind of give them that nudge, to give them those guys, because you just can't have, I mean, we love the idea of having an open sandbox, but let's face it, it's not a completely open sandbox, because then you don't give the players enough to really act on. And I've had those campaigns where I've tried to run a completely open campaign, and it doesn't really move. You kind of it gets stale really quick unless you have something going on.
You got the right players too. That's the other thing. A lot of players can't handle a sandbox. A lot of players want a railroad that they go and kick ass.
Some people do. They want to beer and pretzels. I like you said, your one thing. I want to show up and kill some stuff or whatever like that. And whatnot. So
that's the thing. And so your group has to be a group that's amenable to a sandbox. Some people don't mind going through fucking Strahd and just playing along the plot story, right? They don't care.
Yeah. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's
if you like that, you like that.
Absolutely.
But I think, we're trying to teach a different way here, right? Like advanced DMing, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? That's really what it is.
This stuff is not easy. I mean, I'm writing this one adventure now, guys. and it's one I haven't done this in a while. I did it a long time ago. So I'm writing the adventure, and I said, I spoke about DMing this one. You're going to need some chops to be able to DM this adventure, because there's no artwork. I put no artwork, and there's no map. I said, run this one all theater of the mind. I said, I'm going to do some stuff. And so you're going to have to, I'm going to give you some situations, and you're going to have to figure it out as a DM how to interact, weave these situations in here to get to the end goal. Because I am not going to give you little corridors and little rooms to guide you there. You're just going to have to figure out how to do this. And it's more of a, that's why I like doing my micro adventures. I can put some effort into a very small thing to experiment with different ways of doing things. And so that's where I'm at with that one. I'm just kind of playing with that type of philosophy of just a complete theater of the mind, no art, no maps. It's just encounters. But it's my job as a writer and everything to make sure I convey this information, but also allow the game masters that are grabbing it to make their own decisions on how they want to provide that. There's not going to be fucking box text. It's going to be here. You read it, and then you come up with that scenario in your mind, and it'd be kind of, it's almost, I don't know, almost like an adventure exercise in, taking 8 different ideas. But I do have a set goal. Like there's a goal at the end of it, kind of like you're trying to do, so there is a reason why you want to do this, but these ideas on how you get there are going to be completely up to the dungeon, how you get there.
It's a whole new type of thing, Tim. I mean, you're breaking the mold in a lot of ways here, because most people, they write adventures for beginners, for newbies, they dumb it down. You're saying, fuck all that. I'm flipping it on its head. And this is an advanced adventure for advanced DMs.
Right. I'm going back. Remember how we talked the other day where I said, they always have levels for players and everything, but they don't tell you how, this would be good for a beginning dungeon master to run. This one you might want to have a little bit more. I'm getting back when I'm writing my adventures. I'm putting that little sentence in the intro now. It's like, this adventure is written for Shadow Dark, for characters net, but it's also written for GMs who have some experience under their belt and they know how to run, sandboxes or some, more flowy games compared to a traditional game. So that way they know ahead of time. And I think that, I don't know. I think that should be a standard thing. Just a little hint on like with the DM level or how much work the DM is going to require to run this thing.
I agree. It's a great idea. I mean, it ought to be an industry standard, but people are probably worried it wouldn't buy as many books. I think it might go the other way. Look how many people bought the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons because they didn't want to be a basic bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I know exactly what you're saying.
So
I'm not a baby. I don't play.
I'm not a battery training wheels. Bring the hard shit. I can handle it, baby. Right? It's that, right? Exactly. Say, I'm an advanced DM. I can handle this. And so they're going to want to buy it.
Yeah. People with egos.
Which all of us nerds, right? We all got egos. We're nerds. Nerdy.
Well, I just, because I mean, back in the day when I saw advanced, I'm like, well, why would I get basic? I got advanced, kind of thing. Because I didn't understand the differences between them, because back then, like today, what and big, all the terms, AC, hit points and stuff, people don't really remember. Back then, that nobody knew what the hell that shit meant. We had to learn what it meant,
We never played video games to know what they were first.
No, we had Pong. There was no hit points in Pong.
If you're the rich kid, if you had Pong, if you're a rich kid, I didn't get Pong till 1991. That's how broke I was. So we didn't have Pong in my household. Right. we had a yard sale fucking Pong in 1991. We got it. So no. That is a big deal. So I think you're onto something there, Tim. And that's kind of what we do here. I mean, this is what we're here.
The Quantum Ogre is a advanced tool. I wouldn't use it if you're a beginning DM. An advanced ogre is a good tool, but I think it's more for an advanced DM to use, and that because otherwise you might fall into the adversarial role if you use it too much.
Yeah.
And then we are advanced DMing here. That's what we're teaching, advanced DMing skills. I think that's a kind of a good tagline for us in a sense. You know what I mean? Not to be arrogant, but we're trying to teach things beyond what you're going to learn from the standard basic bullshit book.
And I make mistakes all the time, and it's okay. It's all right. Yeah,
all the fucking time. Yeah, all the time.
Like me and Paul, I always have Paul. I was like, what? Wait, what? What was the NPCs? What did we? I forgot what he was. It's like, and and that's all right.
Yeah,
Well,
we're gonna
what
forget
happens.
stuff, and we're gonna misuse rules, and we're gonna think that
Yep.
was a good idea, or we're gonna think,
Yep.
we're gonna get our ego's gonna get involved with something. Maybe and we make a decision. We go, that was a terrible idea, and it didn't work out. The player experience
Exactly.
was not
Yeah.
great. And once again, like Tim said, if you're a new DM, sparingly, if you have to use a quantum DM, otherwise,
Quantum DM.
Quantum DM.
That's a whole different topic.
See, letter was a mistake right there.
Right. The tip would be, don't paint yourself into a corner where you have to do that. In other words, there's multiple people that know. In Joe's example, there's multiple people who know what need to be said. If there needs to be clues and spread out those clues, that it's not just one place or one person or one thing. Clues can be sprinkled throughout so that your players can, although they may not find the thing or the direct thing, they have found a pathway to the thing.
Yeah. So, guys, this is a collaboration. All three of us. Every week we do this. Every Thursday. Click subscribe, and you'll see all three channels. Subscribe to each of our three channels. All right. We're trying to especially get Tim to monetize. He's halfway there, guys. He's like 5 something right now. He needs 1,000 subs. So go over there.
I got 5. I guess the first level is 500 subs, and then I need like 3,000 watch hours.
Yeah. Well, just fuck that. We're not going the cheap ass route. We're going full monetization, baby.
Watch all of Tim's videos 100 times.
Over and over again. Put them on rewind,
especially the live streams. Because they're like 3 hours. Just put them on the background and
just put them on.
That's what I do with Paul.
I'm good for background noise. Like if you want to go to sleep, I'm like rain or the ocean. Just put me on that.
ASMR DM.
That's correct. Exactly.
Everybody put Tim on rewind for 24/7, and he will get monetized shortly. All right, that's what we're looking for here. And subscribe to his channel. And feel free. I got a Patreon. I got a Substack. The links are all below to that bullshit too. I'm a member of my channel, Paul's channel. All right, Paul, you sell stuff, don't you? I think I heard a rumor.
He's got some zines that are kicking ass.
Check his description for links to all his stuff there. And we got to give Courtney Campbell his props, right?
I was going to say, Courtney Campbell. I want to thank Courtney Campbell. He's got a great gaming mind, comes up with a lot of great stuff. He's got show your book again, Joe. He's got
I have the one called Steel Ecosystems, created by Monster and Habitation. So it's essentially if you look at this thing, you're looking at like a Medusa. What is it? Description of it, things that are known about it, rumors and other things that might or may not be true of each. And there's like 30 bullet points for each monster. Some you could be, some might not be, whatever the case may be. It's good stuff though.
And then I have these 2 books on the downtime and then the Artifices, Deceptions, and Dilemmas. These are both very good books. I think they're both all these are available on RPG Drive-Thru, and I also think he has them on Amazon too. I thought I got these on Amazon, but
they are available on Amazon. They're all there. They're $20 a piece.
20 bucks. Yeah, they're $20 a piece, guys. These are definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. There's a lot of good content in this stuff.
Yeah.
So
I keep
is he go by Courtney? What's he go by on there?
He goes by Courtney Campbell on Amazon.
Courtney Campbell.
Okay. Kindle, if you're a Kindle person, $9.99.
Yeah. And it's Hack and Slash Publishing is his company, if that helps you.
Yes, that is Hack and Slash, and that's also his blog. So if you want to read a lot better, in-depth discussion about the Quantum Ogre over on Hack and Slash on Blogger, he has a whole series of them, and he goes through them way better than I did, and whatnot. But I just, I appreciate guys. That's what I love about the OSR. We got these guys that are so freaking smart that are able to create things that we can talk about and integrate into our games and just I don't know, just advance, make our game a little bit better. And if you can do that, you're doing great things. And Courtney's definitely one of those guys who can kind of help you make your game better. So go check him out. Go buy his books.
Shit. Fucking opposite of smart. I didn't hit fucking record. We've been doing this for nothing. The whole fucking
we're on 34 minutes right now.
I know. I'm fucking with you. Anyway, thanks everybody.
It says record on the top, Joe.
I'm watching the count right here. I know.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Just see if you were like, oh. Anyway, like and subscribe, share this shit out there. We appreciate all you guys. All right.
Thumbs down, Joe.
Huh?
Thumbs down, Joe.
Thumbs up. Thumbs down. I don't care. Come on my ass, whatever. Later.